I've mentioned a couple times that I had this coming, but it's the DIY kit from Artist, the Strat style. So the plan basically is just to paint it, put it together and see what you get for your money. A bit over $150. One thing I was pleasantly surprised that I didn't know when I bought it was that it is a plug and play setup, so no soldering required. So I'll be interested to see how that turns out. Box number 1. Looks pretty good. Box number 2. Looks pretty good. Feels nice. Everything again unfinished. You can do what you want with it. One thing I do want to check is the fit. Beautiful. Beautiful. Yeah, perfect fit. Could be a little tighter. I don't mind it if it's really tight and you need to shave them down a little bit, but that's good. I'm really happy with that. All the holes are pre-drilled. That's good. Box number 3. Alright, I'm probably not going to open all these and go through them now, but you got your tremolo. Looks fine. Go into more detail when we're putting them together. The input jack. Oh yeah, there's the little plug and play. I like it. Some type of small screws. Tuners. Pick guard. Pretty wide. Oh, they even give you strings. Strap buttons. Back plate. Neck plate. Tremolo springs. It's all there. Yeah, it looks good. I'll probably start straight away sanding it, putting some grain filler in, paint it, and then the assembly should be pretty straightforward. Touch wood. Everything's here, plug and play. It wouldn't be too bad. One other thing I'll mention is that when you buy the guitar kit, you get a manual with steps on how to put it together. So if you've never done it before, they make it easy, and I thought I'll try to follow it as close as possible, so if you've never done it before, you know what to expect. Body is unfinished and unsealed, allowing you to apply any finish you like. A wide variety of finishes can be procured. Blah blah blah, from aerosol cans. That's good, that's what I bought. Dust mask is essential. First step to check the body and neck. Very good, did that already. If it's too tight, make adjustments, blah blah blah. Before coating the body, ensure that all surfaces are clean and free of dirt and dust. A hole is cut into the neck to allow you to suspend it, but I might make my own handle that fits in the neck pocket. Doesn't say anything about putting in a grain filler. It just sort of says make sure it's clean and start spraying. Spray on the edges of the body first. Yeah, right, it basically just says make sure it's clean. When you spray, spray the edges, allow for it to dry. Now it doesn't say anything about if you should mask any areas off. I mean, I don't think it would be too necessary really. I'm like I said, I'm going to cut out a makeshift handle that'll fit in the neck pocket, so that'll have that covered up, and I think that's really, that's the main area that needs to be covered. Everything else can get paint on it. Oh, and for artist fans, this is a QC by Leo. Alright, well I might just do that. I might just make sure it's clean and start with the base coat. Yeah, screw it. Let's do that. So there you can see I tested the colour. That's what we're going to end up with. Just marking out the neck pocket to make the little holder. Just made it easier while we were painting. Yeah, still learning. I used shellite to clean the body, even in between coats. Did a good job. I will say you want the paint to be cured for 24 hours before you use it. It did want to take it off a bit if it had only been left for an hour or two. Still fine, just don't go too hard on it. This is the base coat I used. I went with a chalked paint, so this is linen white. Just like it said in the instructions, went with the sides first. Then on to the back. I would tend to go left to right and on one coat, and then up and down on the next coat, just to make sure you get full coverage. That's the first base coat. Then it's just repeat. I did 2 coats. I did a sand with 240 grit. That's what I used in between all the coats. Just a bit of a light scruff up. And yeah, ended up doing 2 coats of base. Seemed to be plenty. Okay, went with the colour Tape Green. Again, it's a chalked paint. Applied it the exact same way as I applied the base coat. It's pretty satisfying seeing the colour go on. I did 3 coats all up of the main colour. That seemed to be plenty. Got pretty good coverage. Then the clear coat, I did another 2 coats of the clear. Same thing. I went with a wet dry 600 grit, I think, in between the 2 layers of the clear. And here's the final result. You can see up close where it's like an open pore finish because I didn't use a grain filler, but I'm pretty happy with it. I like it. Very natural. Alright, so it's about 3 days later and I'm done with the painting. I'm pretty happy with how it came out. Now, I've printed off the artist manual, and like I said, I'm going to try to follow it exactly how they say to see how it goes. Body we're done. So neck, it says that the neck of the guitar is supplied sealed with a coat of matte lacquer and is ready to use, but if you prefer to finish it, you can. Then it goes into details on how to do that. Now, I'm not going to do that. I'm happy with how this is. That's fine. I prefer a fairly matte, unfinished sort of feel, so I'm just going to leave that how it is. Next step, before the body goes on, tuners. So, before attaching the neck to the body, fit the tuning machine heads to the headstock by inserting the thread through the pre-drilled holes and setting a washer and a bush over it. Sounds pretty easy. So you can see the pre-drilled hole, and at the back there's a little screw for each of the tuners. So what they want you to do is start with the neck and the tuner. Tuner goes through, get the bush, actually no, washer first, and the bush. You can sort of get it hand tight, and there you have it, one done. Now I'm going to line that up and screw in a little screw at the back. Now none of my sockets fit over it, so I'm going to use this little guitar tool that I've got to tighten it. They don't have to be crazy tight. Alright, keep going. Tuners should look like this when they're done. That went pretty well, very easy. Okay, next is the string trees. Doesn't really say much, it just says fit the 2 string trees with the one with the taller spacer nearer the top nut. So, string trees. Alright, little bonus tip here. When you get to this point, if you can, I recommend applying some lemon oil or some sort of treatment to the fretboard, and even possibly polishing the frets. Just would give you a nicer finish. It's fine to leave it how it is, but would definitely recommend it. I didn't do it, but probably should have. Okay, so next part might seem a bit daunting, but it's putting the neck on. It's just 4 screws. It's all pre-drilled. We've checked it already that it fits. Now maybe a recheck now is important, because a little bit of paint has made that a little bit tighter. Not a problem though. If you can't get it in, just a little bit of sandpaper wherever you're having problems, try to keep it even. So it says with the body face up on a protective surface, position the neck into the cutout, done, turn it over, and then put the provided neck plate. It's got this other little black section, neck plate, and screw it all together. My screws still have a bit of paint on them from painting, but not to worry. We'll say I meant it. Alright, another little tip here, might seem obvious, but through this part, just make sure that you get the neck completely into the neck pocket. You don't want any gap there. Just make sure the screws have gone all the way in, and you've dragged the neck itself right as far into the pocket as it can go. Neck fitted. Starting to look like a guitar. Okay, next up, bridge assembly. So they want you to position the body face up on a soft surface. Take the bridge and set it into the right section towards the body. So the only place it can go. Little piece of paper there. Line it up with the 6 holes and screw them in. So they're referring to the 6 holes at the front. Another little thing I sometimes do that they haven't mentioned here, but it's a little tip that I saw a long time ago and I just keep using it, is if you keep a little candle around and you run the screws through a bit of wax first, it just helps them go in a little bit easier and prevents cracking in the wood. I'm not doing that because I'm following the rules, but if you're having a little bit of trouble or you're worried about a crack, a little bit of wax on the screws will help. Okay, importantly, it says to not do up those 6 screws too tight. You still want a little bit of movement there. The next part will help with that. So turn the guitar over and screw the spring claw part way into the pre-drilled holes at the forward edge. String claw, this holds the springs in place. Spring claw, sorry. You can use this later on to make adjustments to how your bridge is sitting. If you're not entirely happy with it, you can move these screws in or out. Attach the loops of the springs to the claw, and the other end to the tremolo. Should look like that. Now, like I said, that might need a bit more adjustment on final setup, but we'll see. Okay, next is wiring, the fun bit. The pickups and controls are pre-assembled on the pickguard and simply need to be connected to the output jack, socket and earth. So it's all plug and play, no soldering. Very good news. Well, not just. So you've got this will go to the output jack and this goes through the body to the spring claw at the back. First thing they say to do is to take the ground wire, which is the one without the connector, feed it through this little hole and get it to the back. Alright, got the wire through. Now basically all it says to do is to remove the spring and thread that through it, I believe. Okay then, so that might be a little bit of, unless I'm reading that wrong, a little bit of a continuity error, but leave the top spring off. There's a little hole in the tremolo, and then put that final one on. That'll hold it in place. Alright, so I've just made sure that that wire goes under the tip of the claw. One thing that I've probably done wrong is that should probably go under the other string claws. So I'd be putting the claws on after, the springs on after the earth wire, because when you start using that tremolo, that might get caught in there. Not that it would bother too many things. Alright, so seems to me like this is made for a 21 fret guitar. Let me have a look at their pictures. I could be wrong. 22 fret in the pictures, but I can't maneuver this to get under the neck, so I'm just going to loosen the neck, even just the back too. Just a few turns. I'll have to move all of them. Just enough to lever it up. Allowing that under there. Ooh. There's something I missed. Look at that. All the pick guard screws are attached to the magnetic pickups. Getting this pick guard to fit is giving me some headaches, just because something in the way. Can't figure out what. Feels like it's just this bunch of wires just hitting everything. Hey, that's all it was. Just had to pull those wires a bit out the way. Just going to put a few screws in. So in the process that earth wire came out, so I'm going to do what I said I should have done to begin with, take them all off. Alright, that looks a little bit neater, and I've made sure that the loop on that spring is on top of the wire that'll keep it in place. Then connect these two wires. They only fit one way. I've lost one pickguard screw while doing that, but look at that. I mean, we're pretty much done. Next is the strap buttons. Well, that's the guitar together. So the next step is string it up and set it up. So the kit comes with strings, and let's use them. It's a bit of a mess. It'll be fun knowing which one's which. Now the kit does come with an Allen key, which I have lost already. Hey, look, I found that other screw. Now straight off the bat, the action seems low, so it's just going to be hard to tune it. As I go, I'll just lift them up a little bit and then adjust it later. So one thing I'm noticing is that the bridge being brand new, the saddles aren't adjusted for height at all, so they're dead flat. So you're just gonna, as you put the strings in to get a note to ring, lift them up a little bit. I think I'm just guessing which one is the next string. Okay, one thing they don't mention in the little setup guide is sort of what I talked about before with the spring claw. So when you string it up, you might end up with the bridge doing that. So I'm just going to go into the back, tighten up that string claw a bit, and that should fix that. Alright, that's the guitar done. Let's give it a go. Alright, so guitar is done. Sounds pretty good, plays pretty good. I spent a bit more time just adjusting the string heights, and I ended up screwing in that claw a fair bit, so the bridge is almost flush with the body. So you can't really pull up on the whammy bar much, but you can go down. All in all, this was good fun. I really recommend it. I might do more with this guitar. It might be a good little project. I really want to try the Artist Wrangler pickups. I might chuck them in, see what they sound like, rather than buy a whole new guitar. But yeah, I've enjoyed this. If you've got any more questions about it, just let me know. All in all, though, pretty easy to do. It really was. Painting probably took the most amount of time. I think I put it together in probably under an hour, and that was talking to the camera through the whole process. But yeah.